If you're looking for brand new information on Farming Simulator 25, you are at the right place. We've got some new screenshots of the USA map coming with Farm Sim 25, as well as a little bit of information from Giant Software, so let's jump right in. First off, if you didn't know, the USA map's name is Riverbend Springs and is based on areas around the Mississippi River. Therefore, it should be no surprise that the map is all about celebrating water in Farm Sim. You'll find piers, jetties, houseboats, floating restaurants, and more elements of Riverbend Springs to go along with the theme of the map, perfect for adding rice and other water physics. This is just one of the 3 maps coming with the base game of Farm Sim 25, releasing on Tuesday, November 12th, 2024 on PC, Mac, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. You can find the pre-order links in the description. There's also a link to some awesome custom gaming PCs if you want to grab one of those before the release of Farm Sim 25. Riverbend Springs has a lot to discover, including some historic buildings and other elements of a time before. There's an old grain elevator, paper mill by the river, or maybe brick buildings the way they were built 100 years ago. There's also construction sites, businesses, buying your goods, aka sell points, and more. And if you enjoy forestry, you may want to take a walk through the woods. This is going to be a very busy map and seemingly quite different from the base game maps of old. There are tons of spots to check out on Riverbend Springs, and Giant Software says who knows what or who you'll get to see when exploring. Are you ready to build a new farm in Riverbend Springs? As we already know, NPCs will have expressions as well as dialogue to interact with, so that's probably what they mean by who. The map, of course, has a main waterway that flows from one side to the other, with a divergence towards the top of the map before coming back down. And in between, we have a very obvious break between the top and bottom halves of the map. It's mostly fields and a few sell points scattered around the outer ring of the map, with the center part containing what I believe is most of the town area. Of course, bridges connect the different sides of the river, with a train track also going through the map, shown here in black. Not all fields are squared off, though there are still a few square fields. Most of them are rounded or have abnormal boundaries. With Farm Sim 25 comes a new GPS mode. Harvesting fields has never been easier, or doing anything for that matter. I will say none of these fields look tremendously large, though it does look like you can plow a few of them together to extend the farmland, so that's good. As with all of the screenshots that we're going to talk about today, if you see something that I missed, please let me know. Moving on to the water tower for Riverbend Springs. Water towers were a popular thing in Farm Sim 22, and they are coming back, but it does look quite different, which I do appreciate. It looks old and worn, it's weathered, with white stars on the top slowly disappearing. However, I do love that red, white, and blue though. Keep that coming. And of course, the stars make it even better. Let's go! One thing to note on this screenshot is the draw distance of the green field on the right-hand side. And now the textures go from higher quality up close to what you would kind of expect to see outside the circle, if you know what I mean. You can't have perfect draw distances at every level. That would be insane. It would probably crash your graphics. But it would be nice if they didn't just change abruptly and in a straight line. This doesn't look good, and you lose a lot of immersion this way. I hope they fix this before the release. The next screenshot has so much to break down. Obviously, our character is in a flooded rice paddy, likely after it's been planted, and they're wearing some sort of rubber or wetsuit, and they're making ripples in the water. That's pretty cool. There's also a new hairstyle here, I think, as well, but the most important thing to take away from this screenshot, at least I think, is that this isn't just a screenshot of our character. They've never shown our character in third person before, or from the view of another character, especially in this setup. They have shown it off in equipment, but why do this and why do this way now, other than the water? I mean, the ripples are cool. I think it's because third person is finally coming to Farm Sim 25. Let's be clear, I don't have anything to back this up with, except for this one screenshot, but why would they just show our player here? Yeah, the water rippling is cool, but I'm convinced a third-person view is coming. It's already a mod on PC, and it has been for like a few games at this point. We're just kind of wasting time not putting third-person in the game, so why else would they show this? Now's the time. Prove me wrong. Let's go. The fourth screenshot is of, I think, a production chain. We can see what might be a hint of that at the top right. A horse-drawn carriage, specifically, a very fancy one. This building takes up 4 levels from top to bottom, and all of the doors are open. There's also an older wagon at the bottom left by the road that looks like it's been there for a few decades. I can't make out exactly what the name of the building is, but it's got something to do with coach building. It looks like something wagons, but I'm not sure. The file name may give us a little bit of a hint here. It's called Wagon Builder, so we can assume it's going to be either something to use with horses or just something to sell like the boats from Silver Run Forest. Aside from that, we also get to see the difference in the roads from Farm Sim 25 on the left-hand side of the screenshot, as it follows the natural curves and hills of the land rather than being flat and boring. It's a cool addition to the game. I love this. If you were wanting a shot from one of the farms, well, we've got it right here at Sunflower Farm. Well, the file name's actually Sunset Farm. Also, we got that coach again in the middle. There's something up with those, I swear. It's been said that Giants would never have any tools or implements to use with the animals, but I do wonder if that includes horse-drawn carriage? Maybe, maybe not. As for the left side of the screenshot, we've got a big sunflower bale with sunflowers on the silo in the background. Are sunflower bales a thing? The middle shows us that carriage again, another barn, some buildings in the background, what I believe is the farmer's market, with the right of the screen showing us the farmhouse and a small windmill. Not to mention all the new flowers and plants in the grass to break up that monotony of regular grass. This is a pretty cool screenshot. The next one brings us to Morrison Cement and a John Deere 3650 pulling a Farm Tech trailer. These two are more confirmed pieces of equipment coming with Farm Sim 25, and I couldn't be more excited. If you're curious, a little bit of history on that 3650, it was sold between 1986 and 1993, built in Mannheim, Germany at the factory that we were at 2 years ago for FarmCon 22, and was considered to be a utility tractor, though probably just going to be a small tractor in Farm Sim 25. It featured a 5.9-liter 6-cylinder diesel engine with a 6-speed transmission, putting out 114 wild horsepower. It's a little workhorse, man, and I will find a good home for it on my farm, and I'm sure most of you guys will as well. Taking a look at the red building on the back, it's actually a boat, but I'm not sure if it's one of the mentioned houseboats, maybe the floating restaurant, or maybe it's something completely different. But I can say, very cool, and it's very floaty. As for the rest of the screenshot, I really don't want to detract from the cement factory and what it could be, but there's just not enough information here to go on to make any predictions or conclusions other than the file name, which is just cement. The next one's a little bit easier. We have the grain terminal, according to the file name, and I'm guessing this is where we'll take boats, fill them with grain, and then send them off. Maybe similar to the train that we have right now. They could even be given a track system, or maybe you just lease the boat and it does it all for you. Still super cool. One thing that I don't think a lot of people are going to notice with this screenshot are the real reflections on the water. Usually we expect water in Farming Simulator to either be clear or not reflect the right thing, as that's just kind of what we've been trained for. However, here we have a correct reflection of everything around us, and that's worth noting. Additionally, on the far right side, we have another giant software billboard. So yeah, they're coming back. If we make our way into town a little bit, we'll find the main grain terminal, where you can move things from different silo systems into either trains or tippers and back and forth again. This shot also shows us a great look at the lighting and the difference between the sun and the headlights from the school bus. Yeah, that's a school bus right there, and it's got lights on it. My guess is, since there's lights on this and it's on the road, it's probably a new NPC vehicle driving around the map. Again, something super cool and brand new. I don't know about you guys, but the more I look at these screenshots today, the more I'm getting super excited about each one. Oh, let's take a look at the next one. What if I told you with this one that we have a new production chain and we know what it's going to be? Rope making at Crossing Point Ropes, showing you the ropes since 1998. Here we can see a Kubota R640, or at least I think that's what it is, front loader, moving around what looks to be a bag of ropes or something like that. Bag of ropes, a term? I'm not sure. We got more on the right-hand side under the green loading sign as well. If we zoom out, we can see lots of more lushness with the ground and textures, in addition to all of the different layers of draw distances. And in this one, it looks really good. I like how the trees in the back are a little bit blurred, but nothing crazy. They still look far away, but they don't look bad. Again, the road is really nice. It's uneven, super realistic. It follows the path of terrain rather than just being there and being its own thing. But that's all I got for you on this one. But that's not the only thing I've got for you, because next is the paper mill, aka Quill & Co. Paperworks. Here, we got a water wheel with a wooden staircase on the right-hand side. It looks like it leads upstairs, and I only assumed that we could go up there, and only point it out because those are the only windows that aren't fake on this building, so maybe we can go in there. Back around to the left-hand side, we can see a board that says making paper out of wood, with 7 different steps, or at least 7 different things to go from one to the other. I'm not sure if we're going to have different things from each step in Farming Simulator, but it's still kind of cool to see some of the things that we already have, like forestry, logs, wood chips, and paper rolls. We've also got different kinds of grass here, with something that is very telling of waterways there. So it must be a significant water source going through that wheel. Another water wheel appears over at the spinnery. This one, again, too, accompanied by that water wheel, probably powering the production, but just visually, with some thin fog laying low with the creek. Other than the details on the building and the early morning look of the screenshot, there's not really much else here that we haven't already talked about. Maybe some new trees, but I think that's about it. Can't really see anything else having to do with the production itself. Next, we got a triple threat. 3 screenshots that go together, all titled Grain Elevator Museum. Now, this is super interesting, as we've just assumed that this is a grain elevator that we have to build back up to use. But tossing in the word museum in there, it's kind of different, and I was not expecting a museum. I mean, obviously, we're going to build it back up to the way it once was, but it will turn into a place where we can store achievements or rewards. That's what a museum is, right? Or is it just a place to build up, and the word museum just means nothing? I really hope that it's some of those, maybe all. Yeah, museum means all of the above. The first of the 3 screenshots, just a different angle to what we've already seen before. The second is a different angle from the train tracks this time, with what almost looks like bad weather coming in from the right-hand side. You can also see the difference in the light hitting the side of the building, going through the tree, and then the light on the shadow in the back of the building. 3 super unique and different views right there. And our third screenshot is just another look, but from the inside of the building this time. We do have a video, I think, that shows the inside of this, but no screenshots. The whole building appears to be enterable, or at least, at the very least, a small portion of it. No matter what this building brings, I'm going in this building as soon as I get the game. Now, usually playgrounds in Farming Simulator have swings and slides and stereotypical playground stuff. However, the playground on Riverbend Springs looks to be more of a ropes course and very unlike any playground that I've ever seen. We can only think that this file was wrongly categorized, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. What is this even used for in Farming Simulator? I have so many questions. Something else I have questions about is the animal dealer. We've already seen the animal dealer a few times in screenshots and in videos, so we're not going to stay on this one long, but it was always nice to get more screenshots of local areas around the map. The name Animal Dealer, though, is definitely interesting. At least it's different from what we've seen before. Normally, we get to see something that looks like auction houses or something like that. This one just kind of, it's an animal dealer, all right. It's a place where you go buy your animals. What is that even called? Animal dealer? Nah, it's too easy. It'll also be easy to ferry yourself across the main waterway, even with the grain barge coming through. I believe that's the Massey Ferguson 9S waiting to cross, which is another brand new machine coming with FS25, although we knew about this one already. Again, I'm not sure what is going to be going on here or what's new, other than the fact that you can load up on the barge and travel from side to side. I'm not sure how much you could travel with at one time. In real life, you have to be careful of the weight that you put on a boat. Is it too much? You could sink. I doubt we're going to have to worry about that, but it's still kind of neat to think about. No, not the sinking of the boat, the moving of equipment from one side to the other. You're awful. Jokes aside, I just hope there's a reason for going from one side to the other in that very specific spot and having to use the barge, because it's a super cool feature. This is awesome, and I don't think anyone says anything other than that, but I just hope that it's worth it. Otherwise, it's a gimmick, and I don't want it to be that way. I want it to be useful and worthwhile. Our next screenshot is titled Clouds and features, well, you guessed it, spinach, I think. A massive field full of what I believe is spinach, with a different water tower off in the distance and some clouds. There's the name. Although these are much darker, leading me to wonder if they're rain clouds or not. In real life, rain clouds are darker, letting you know, hey, weather's about to be bad, so maybe that's the west this way in some way, or maybe it's just a coincidence. I will say this, I do like how you can see the right side of the clouds are darkening the area over the field differently than what's being done on the rest of the field. That's a really cool addition. This almost feels like the edge of the map as well, as there's not much in the way of decoration when it comes to behind those trees in the back, off to the right or left. It's very bare, so maybe this is on the far edge of the map? Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Lastly, we got another three-peat for you with more screenshots of the sun coming through the trees, showing off the god rays and some of the different foliage that we can expect to see all around the forestry areas. There's also streams that run through the uninhabited areas and a few older buildings. I just love the way the water looks in 25. It's so much different than previous games. And finally, we end up on a collection of fields, trees, plants, water, sun, and fog. A collaboration of all of the new foliage types and densities coming with FS25 to show just how much more lush and vibrant FS25 is going to be when compared to previous Farming Simulator titles. We have received a ton of screenshots today, 21 in total. No videos or extra information, but we were able to take a lot of new information from these screenshots. Again, you think I missed anything or have your own ideas, let me know in the comments. If you want to pre-order Farm Sim 25, check the description for some links, and make sure you use code DjGoHam when you do. I've got quite a few videos out there already about Farm Sim 25, so check the playlist for up-to-date information on all the goodies coming with the new game. If you have any questions, post those down below, and make sure you're subscribed with notification bells turned on. That way, you never miss any future Farming Simulator 25 videos. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you later.